Ayo, what is up, my people? How you been? How you doing? How's your week gone so far? So, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. I'm your host, the friendliest face in the game, Frank, aka Kikaching. And today, guys, I got a new episode for you. So, before we get down to it, I'd like to say everything that we're about to talk about in this video, it is all my own opinion. I've done my own research. I've invested my own money. If you are to take my opinions and use them to your benefit, please do your own research when investing, and please, when you do invest, do not invest more than you can afford to lose. Do not overextend yourself in these markets. They are volatile. They do require people to research. They do require people to make logical decisions. So that said, guys, take that, use it as you will, and go on, conquer the world. So, topic of today, the theme of today, why Bitcoin? I get asked this question a lot. Friends, family members, classmates, associates, people that went to school with me that I know from previous years and stuff. They ask me, why am I into Bitcoin? Like, why would I be invested in such a speculative investment when the prices go so high, they drop so low? What is the worth in Bitcoin, etc., etc.? So mainly, again, why Bitcoin? My answer to why Bitcoin is the internet. Over the years, the internet has expanded its bounds. It has increasingly become more useful. It has increasingly made more jobs for people. It has increasingly connected the world. So through the internet, unlike when the internet first came out, unlike when computers were first around, and the internet now, we have social media. We are able to connect. We're able to get news in real time. We're able to watch TV shows and movies. We're able to send money in seconds, minutes, whatever it might be, across the internet. We're able to do everything on the internet, read, listen to music. The internet is so powerful, and yet the one thing that the internet doesn't have in this new digital age that we're in is a currency, or the one thing that it didn't have is a type of native currency. Bitcoin is that native currency. Now, when you listen to this, I don't want you to get it misconstrued and think, oh, Bitcoin is the first currency. Bitcoin was the first currency, and there's been other currencies, or Bitcoin is the only currency. No, that is not what I'm saying. I'm saying Bitcoin, when it was created in 2009, at that moment, though people didn't realize it, that was the best thing that could have ever happened to the internet. The way that Bitcoin was built, scarcity. It's a deflationary currency, a peer-to-peer network. It's decentralized, and it has a digital immutable blockchain. All of these things combined make it to where that, unlike other currencies where they inflate over time, the government can just print out more currency over time, people could hack into bank accounts, etc. People know who's on each end, all these things that really go wrong with currency. This cannot happen to Bitcoin. And if you think about the internet, if you were to have a centralized type of currency, it would be almost useless, because people would be able to hack into it. People would be able to fake things, scam things. People would be able to forge different things, and it would just fall apart. And generally speaking, with Bitcoin, now I'm not here to say that Bitcoin is also the fastest, as there are other cryptocurrencies, but in general, Bitcoin is just great for the internet because of the way it's able to store value, the way it's able to increase in value over the years, and also the way that it's able to send payments without having to have all the middlemen processing fees, company processing fees, and everything. So let me give you an example. If I were to go over to Europe, say in Germany, if I were to go to Germany and say I needed to send a friend 50 euros, now if I were to send 50 euros through PayPal, and I know this for a fact because I've actually been sending money, in euros quite frequently. If I were to send 50 euros to someone and my native currency is the US dollar, not only would I have to pay the fee for the conversion rate, I would also have to pay the fee for the transaction itself. So now I'm paying two fees. So now instead of sending 50, or maybe around like 52 something, because the euro is about like 1.15 times what the USD is, instead of sending that, I would be sending around $60 to $62. So that's around a $10 to $12 increase already over what I would have normally sent. Now with Bitcoin, of course, you're gonna have to convert, your local currency to Bitcoin. But the general concept is, if I convert my money to Bitcoin and say I have $100 of Bitcoin, and my friend, they want Bitcoin, I could easily send $100 of Bitcoin, and there it is. And if I want to give $100, there's no change in. The only thing that you might receive is a transaction fee, and normally transaction fees only occur when you go through exchanges. So if I were to just send it to another Bitcoin address, it wouldn't be, you know, any type of fee. But if I were to send it to an exchange, I might have a fee of 0.01, 0.001. It doesn't matter, like, who knows, but very low. And then also, unlike, you know, PayPal, where it might come the next day, or Venmo, where it might come in, you know, the next 2 to 3 business days, whatever it might be, Bitcoin will be there within minutes. You can verify it on the blockchain, or even, I think, if you use Cash App, it'll be verified within 10 to 15 minutes. You already have your Bitcoin. So when I say, why do I use Bitcoin, those things I just mentioned, those are some of the primary reasons why I use Bitcoin. Now, getting back into the whole concept of it being a native digital currency, or one of the first native digital currencies, when we use the internet, we're going to need things that help us facilitate our processes when we are on the internet. So whether we're buying things, selling things, whether we're trying to rent things, whatever it might be, run businesses, when we're using the internet, we're going to need something that's stable. We're going to need something that's decentralized and not controlled by one party. And we're going to also need some type of privacy. We're going to need some type of anonymity. And with Bitcoin, this allows all these things. There's no singular person saying who can make transactions, who can't, when you can send, when you can't, like times a day, when the type of day is. Like, there's no limit to how much you can really send unless you go through an exchange, all these different things. Bitcoin also doesn't, like, in terms of anonymity, the only thing you'll see is who's sending it to you. Now, unless you like know the person, like is your friend sending it to you, okay. But if you just have a sender sending it to you, you just have their address, and you can't really go backwards and figure, oh, this person has this address. It doesn't work like that. So that's also another great principle about Bitcoin. But ultimately, the deflationary part of Bitcoin, that's probably the ultimate part of why Bitcoin. So we'll get into that. If we look at the historical data, so right now we see Bitcoin is at $10,000, 529, right? If we do the math, got my calculator right here for those that are curious. So we don't even have to go back to 2009 when Bitcoin first came out. I've been in the market since 2017, just full transparency. If we were to go back to December 2018, early 2019, Bitcoin dropped to 3,200 to around 3,400, 3,500. I believe I was purchasing Bitcoin around 3,500. We'll do 3,200 because I know I actually have the chart up. And if you see, it has the different yearly lows. So $4, $65, 2013, $200, 2014, $185, 2015, 365, 2016, 780, 2017, and 3,200, 2018. We'll do 3,200. All right. So we have a current price of 10,529. And remember, guys, this is not even the all-time high of Bitcoin. Bitcoin went up to $20,000. So if we do it right now, 10,520, it just changed. But we'll say 29. Divide that by 3,200. Hold up. That would be an increase, or that would be a return on your initial investment of 3.28 or 328%. So even in the stock market, even if you trade options, now if you trade options, you could get returns of 15, 20, 30%, 100%. But you have to be really skilled in options trading. But no, it's normally just holding, investing in stocks. Unless you're getting dividends and you have a lot invested in stocks, you're primarily going to get anywhere between like 4 to 6% returns. So if you're looking at Bitcoin, even from the low that it had in 2018, which I know a lot of people like to focus on, they like, or at least I would say a lot of the staunch opponents to Bitcoin, they're like, oh, it's a scam, it's just like the Dutch tulips. Well, it went up to 20,000 and it came down to 3,200, so you say. But if you think about it, if you bought the low, if you bought the dip, you would have had a 3.28 gain. So if you invested $1,000, you would have got $3,280 back out of what you originally made, or times whatever you would have put in the market at this current price. Now, why I like the deflationary aspect of Bitcoin is, if you think about over the years, why Bitcoin, it consistently puts out the returns that people are looking for in other investments. Now, you don't have to be the most skilled trader, cryptocurrency trader. You also do not have to be the most wealthy person to put money into Bitcoin, because you could literally buy 1/100th of a Bitcoin, 1,000th of a Bitcoin, 1,000,000th of a Bitcoin if you wanted. So if you think about all these yearly lows, it was $4 2012, 65. I don't want to go over it again, but you see the numbers, guys. Now, if you're talking about, since Bitcoin's been around, it's been around since 2009, so it was even lower than this. But if Bitcoin is consistently increasing in price, then you might say, oh, well, Bitcoin is going up to all-time highs and coming back low, but every time it's making higher highs and higher lows. So it seems to me that it would be a great investment, because it's always going to continuously surpass its last lowest low, and it's never going to return, at least from what we can see in the historical data. So $65, we haven't seen $65 since 2013. We haven't seen $365 Bitcoin since 2016. So it might be safe to say that within 2 to 3 years, we'll never ever again see a $3,200 Bitcoin. So if you're thinking about why Bitcoin, you can think about it as being able to park your money there. Now again, I will reflect back on the part where I said that Bitcoin is not the fastest currency. It also might not be the most robust network for a whole bunch of transactions on it, but it does get the job done. And until the Lightning Network is fully implemented, then we do have to worry about certain transaction problems, transaction fees, more expensive than typical cryptocurrency fees, but less expensive than traditional fiat currencies. But just generally speaking, guys, I like putting my money into Bitcoin because I know, in terms of the digital age and where the world is progressing, if you look everywhere, everybody's paying Apple Pay, Chase, Zelle. They're doing everything online, just tapping phones, sending money online, Cash App, Venmo, not Square Cash, PayPal, all these things. And it's just like, there has to be one central place where people can store their money for them, that the banks aren't involved with, that governments aren't involved with. And that's not really to sound like, like I'm a what is the word, like an anarchist, or that I'm wholly against the government. I'm not. But I'm just saying, people want to be in control of their own finances. People don't want to be told, oh, you can only buy this much, you can only send this much, you can only do this a certain time of day, a certain time of weeks, a certain number of times. Bitcoin gets rid of all this. You basically are your own bank. That's why I enjoy Bitcoin. And also, further going into the point of, the world moving into a more digital marketplace, or just the world becoming more digital, if you look at who accepts Bitcoin, major companies that are accepting Bitcoin: Wikipedia, everybody knows Wikipedia. Microsoft accepts it. Expedia, KFC accepted it briefly, so I don't really count them. Overstock, Playboy, Subway, Virgin Galactic, Namecheap, Cheap Air, Gift, Newegg, the Internet Archive, Pirate Bay, 4chan, Mega.nz, Amazon, not directly, but you can use places to go through Amazon and buy Bitcoin, purchase things in Bitcoin, ExpressVPN, Beneficia, AT&T. Stores, you can go through all the stores. You see some of these: Bitcoin Travel, Zynga, EasyT Life, Pizza for Coins, Jefferson Stores. Just, there's all these things, guys, that you start buying on Bitcoin. And I believe that the reason why Bitcoin isn't more accepted now is because the governments don't really understand blockchain and crypto, so they have to make regulations for it. Now, that's a video for another day, but just in general, if you think about everywhere across the world, they can't just automatically say, oh yeah, Bitcoin, we can accept it, because they have to be able to make regulations about it. They have to be able to declare it. Oh, is this a security? Is it just a regular asset? What happens with it? How are people going to be taxed? They have to figure out all these things. It's not going to happen overnight. It will happen eventually, but that's just to say, look at all these people, allowing Bitcoin. And even if you think about other cryptocurrencies, away from Bitcoin, you'll see other cryptocurrencies partnering with major banks. You'll see other cryptocurrencies partnering with major technology firms, just firms in general, and just accepting cryptocurrency. So the way that the world's headed, they're becoming more crypto friendly, they're becoming more open to the idea, or more receptive to the idea of having a native digital currency, to having digital currency payments installed on the platform, so everything can move more smoothly than just having to deal with banks and all that. So yeah, guys, that's really it. This is also major services that accept Bitcoin. It's pretty much the same thing. But yeah, that's really it. I'll be back with another video. But yeah, that's really why I say, why Bitcoin. Bitcoin really is just a great option. It's like a digital gold. You put your money into it, it will accrue a certain interest over time. And generally speaking, for my people in my generation, my cohort, people younger, people older as well, it will probably perform much better than a traditional IRA account, or probably turn out better than a Roth IRA. It'll probably turn out better than Social Security will have for us when it's time for us to retire. And that, again, that's not to speculate. That's not to become all conspiracy theorists on everybody. It's just to say Bitcoin's continually increasing over time, and I would hedge my bets over something that is built for the internet and built as the way Bitcoin is. So yeah, that's really it, guys. Hope you enjoyed. And again, like I said, we'll be back every Friday, every week.